See, we are chatting movies already. Ready for the Bell Breakdown with Josh Bell, our film critic, to talk about Dora and the Lost City of Gold. Now, this is based on the Dora the Explorer TV series, but she's much older, right?
She's a bit older.
Okay.
I think she was about 7 years old in the animated show, which still exists and still airs on Nickelodeon. It's been going for nearly 20 years. And here now Dora is a teenager. She's maybe 15, 16, something like that. But she's still an explorer.
Okay, good.
And she
Can't
lives.
give that up.
No, she can't. She lives in the jungles of South America somewhere with her parents, who are played by Eva Longoria and Michael Pena. Isabella Moner, who was in Instant Family. People may remember that.
I remember her.
She plays Dora, and she's grown up in the jungle her whole life, and she loves exploring and education. And she's kind of almost like a 7-year-old trapped in a teenager's body. She's very naive and really, really cheerful and enthusiastic. And her parents decide to ship her off to LA to live with her cousin Diego, who is also, people may remember from the show, also now older and a teenager. So she has this kind of fish out of water thing in the school where she has to adjust. And there's some funny stuff in this movie where they contrast the attitude of Dora, again, almost like she's this little kid educational character trapped in the body of a teenager, and she's thrown into this high school and she's the world's biggest nerd and gets picked on. But then the movie kind of shifts gears and she ends up kidnapped and she's back in the jungle with some of her classmates, and they have to find this lost city that her parents are searching for. And so it's an Indiana Jones kind of Tomb Raider-ish adventure. It's got some self-aware jokes. Again, the whole idea of Dora, this character in this different setting and as a live action character, some little bits about her turning to the camera and asking the audience to repeat words and things that she would have done on the show. So it's mildly amusing, I think, especially maybe for people who grew up with the show and are now, in their 20s or something, and they can look back on it and get the meta humor of it. But it's a little awkwardly balanced. There's some of that, but it's still very, very kid-friendly. And I think parents taking their smaller kids to it, kids may be amused. I think parents may be a little bored with it. But I will say, going into this movie, I thought, who needs a Dora the Explorer live-action movie? Why was this made? And I was pleasantly surprised at parts of it. The creative team were the ones behind the recent Muppets movies, so they have a good sense of, again, that self-awareness and the pop culture references balanced with keeping true to this beloved family franchise. So not bad if you are inclined to see a Dora movie.
Okay, sounds okay.
It is okay, yes.
Well, this next one, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, I think I heard some good things about it.
Yeah.
But based on the kids' horror book series, I guess it's a series.
Yeah, this is something that I was too old for Dora the Explorer, but as a kid, I loved reading the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark series. There's 3 books, and they're basically collections of these like campfire stories and urban legends that this author, Alvin Schwartz, compiled, and they had these incredibly creepy illustrations. Really, the illustrations were the thing. And so it was a great kind of proto-horror thing for kids before I started reading Stephen King books. So now it's a movie, but it has to have an overarching story instead of just this anthology of little blips. So they come up with this kind of coming-of-age kids story set in 1968, and it's okay as a plot. It's not great, but the parts that they recreate from the books are really creepy, and I think if you remember them from when you were a kid, there's some effective, scary stuff in this movie. The story, though, is not great.
Okay, it looks a little scary to me when you see cornfields and
yeah,
those
the cornfield bit with the scarecrow was pretty creepy. Yeah.
All right, so that one's okay too. 2 okay movies,
Two okay movies to play on childhood nostalgia for this week.
There we go. Thank you so much, Josh.
Thanks.
That was the Bell Breakdown, and we will be back next week with Josh for more movies. Stay with us.